10:30. Gonna hang out a little bit and see a few other people join. Take these things off for a few. Don't need those on. Those can sit there. Have a little late night fun. It's almost 10:30 here. I'll give this 4 or 5 minutes. I'm gonna have to refill my coffee before I start this shindig out. So you got one person here, maybe. Yo, kind of chilling at the moment. Waiting for a few more people to come in. I'm probably have to go refill this real quick. May as well do that right now. Get that out of the way. Need a little requisite creamer though. If you're wondering, Carolans in the coffee is good. Doing all right. What's your name, Lowrider? That way I don't have to keep calling you Lowrider. I'll be back in a sec. Always good to have some fresh coffee. I'll give this a couple more minutes to see if somebody else, a few other people pop in or not. So what's your day been like, RC? Call you the bandit? Well, I guess I could be Smokey. Oh, one of these nasty cigarette habits I gotta give up, and it's gonna be this one soon enough. Stealing away from RC. Instead of tires going up in smoke, it's cigarettes. Well, I got the beard for it. It was down to here about 3 years ago. It's not quite there anymore. It's a little shorter. Shouldn't have cut it. But in 2015, I shaved, baby face near the end of 2015. It was, yeah, down to my diaphragm area. I'm waiting for it to get back down there. Kind of keep trimming it up, though. Open this little bad boy up. This is one of their 90% trannies, so it pretty much only needs the diff. Oh, comes with shims too. I got shims, but it comes with shims. Sweet. So their 90% tranny comes with a little box of shims. The tranny cases themselves didn't have shims in it. Well, good deal. It means I don't have to buy any. Nothing in there now. Yeah, they can collect a lot of things besides food too. All right, we'll kill this damn thing. Yeah, I like these trannies. Now this is the stock setup. I've already opened the box, but that's not bad. Just, you know, stock bearings and the stock setup. Now this is the Team Associated top shaft. Their eco bearings comes in the kit. Their idler arm, it comes with a Traxxas 32 center bearing. Here, I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think they got any Loctite. Sometimes these suckers feel tight. And actually, those don't have to come off. Those motor plate screws can stay in. Oh, no, they can't. That's right. There's one screw back here. It's on the other side. I really wish they'd channel both sides so that screw could go in there. You didn't have to take the motor plate off to get her apart, but I'm going to have to. I got that right there. Forgot about that. You got one bolt back here hidden. Yeah, these are real nice trannies as they come out. The other two I got were just the cases, so I had to build up with everything on the inside. I couldn't find just the case. This time they were out of stock everywhere. Well, at Drag Race Concepts is where I bought my first two directly from them. I got looking when they were out of stock, and lo and behold, A-Main had finally gotten a few in and had them on the site. So, but they only had the 90% trannies. So I went ahead and picked up one of the 90%, even though I had the guts for another one. I went and grabbed one of theirs. $115 for the 90% setup. So it's got a little cost to it. Pop this off. All right, and the last one's back here, right here on the, oh, it's on this one, this side, on the bottom. Those 4 screws come out, and it should come apart. There for a minute. We'll just stick them up there and put them aside. One thing I did notice doing my other ones, that one thing a Drag Race Concepts doesn't do, and I kind of wish they did, is on the bottom where you mount. Of course, on the stock Traxxas unit, it comes with the 4, you know, large M4 bolts. But the stock Traxxas unit has 2 M3 here. And those M3s, I think, would help in mounting and keeping the tranny stable if they added those pieces in. You know, I didn't weigh any of my other 2, but I'll go ahead and weigh this one, put my diff in it, and weigh it up. Of course, this is a hot racing diff, so it's not going to be quite the same as it would be with a stock diff in it, or a stock diff with a locker or whatever. So it'll be a little bit heavier. So let me see. As you get it, and it's got bearings and everything in it. So let me go ahead and set that, just kind of hang it on there. Right here. You go like this with it. Those on there. I guess I should make sure it's zeroed out here first. Yep, she's at 0. So I'll put these screws in here. Set the tranny case on. Try to get her somewhere where she's at least set and smooth and not sliding and stable. And that's 123.2 grams. Assuming we don't need any shims, if we just drop the, and it's got two bearings in here for the diff already, and the eco bearings that they come with. So if we just drop the case on there, it's 172.6 right now. Write that down. 172.6. And that's with the steel eco bearings, the diff, and other than a spur system, that should be pretty much ready to install and go. So we'll see what we end up with when I'm done here. Okay. You aside. So yeah, and I don't have a stock case to check it with at this particular point. Oh well. Okay. Team Associated version top shaft. Now you can just put a Traxxas top shaft in here or whatever. And a Traxxas heavy duty 30 tooth and a Traxxas 22 tooth top gear. So let's pop these bearings out of here. Well, these are what they call their Eco Series bearings, and Drag Race Concept sells ABAC 7 bearings ceramics, and that's what the Backyard RC are ABAC 7 ceramics. Don't need to try it. The tolerance is pretty nice. You can see these bearings aren't just falling out. Another shim in there. And then the two here. Another shim. So they do come with some shims already installed. That's probably where the other one was at, was from inside the case here on the piece. We have one there. They got one on this side for the bearing. So we'll go ahead and smooth these out of here. Okay. Open up these backyards. I've got another rack of 10 of these coming, so I only had 2 fresh ones, so I had to steal a couple out of the rear carriers for now. We'll slide those in place. Now, if anybody's familiar doing Traxxas trannies, bearings are 11 by, what are they? 5 by 11 by 4. 5 on the inside, 11 on the total diameter, and 4 millimeters on the width. And those are what your stock bearings are. So if you're looking for replacement bearings, or if you're buying just the tranny cases, if you get just the tranny cases, all you get is the 2 cases and the stock toe pieces, which are 0 degrees toe plates, and no shims or nothing, no gears, no nothing. Just FYI. Now the Backyard RCs, I believe he offers a drivetrain pack, which is I think 14 ceramic bearings for 35 bucks. He's got an entire, kit basically, which runs, I want to say, I believe the entire kit is 48, and I believe that includes the steering bell crank bearings. So we'll see what the two differences are between this one and the last one when I get it all built back up here. See, those tolerances are great because the bearings got to be pushed in. They don't, just slop in. They're in there with a nice snug fit, not overly tight, but it will take a little persuasion to push them in and out. Now, what I've been doing, just because when you're building, it's a little bit easier because this shaft and bearing or idler gear is basically hidden. And by hidden, I mean, once it's installed, you can't move it or test it or check it or anything else. It's in there, it's hidden, you don't get a chance to see it. So what I do is I put the idler gear in and do my shimming on my idler gear first. And I do this on stock trannies too, same reason. Can't see them once it's put together, but you can hear them. So get all your bearings in, slide a couple shims in place. Let me see, that's already, I can see it's too much because there's a gap in there, not quite closing. So go pull her back apart, drop that thick shim out, put her back together. I'm going to take one of these shims that they sent with these little babies and see what we got. Come on, open up. Open sesame. Slight variance, a thin, some thicker ones. So let me set that there. And back in here. Where did the other one go to now? How did you drop it? I must have. And the thing about these things, they drop and you don't hear them drop. Let me see. Got that one there. That's the only one, right? Didn't have one of the other ones there. Make sure. No, just the one. Okay. I've got another one around here somewhere. No, oh, it's on there. Hard to see. Slightly different color. Yeah. And these shims, and just like washers, have a smooth side and a rough side. I always put the smooth side to the bearing. Dang. And even that. Even with just two baby shims, still got a little bit of gap in there. That sucker is a snug one. So let me go ahead and drop one out. Back in the box here. Let's go with just one and see what we get. Dang. That still looks a little tight. All right. No shims it is. At least for now. Double check. Yeah. I think I had to have one shim on both of my other cases. It took one shim on the other gear. I just took out the shims and there's like just a little wiggle in there. What I'll do is, hold her snug. You want to really squeeze it. I'll just stick my finger in there and feel that idler gear with no diff in there. You can get it up from the bottom and feel that thing in there. All right, man. You too, Eric. Have a good one. My government name. Yeah, exactly. I don't have a government name. I'm Timothy from the House of Locke. Wow. That thing's just smooth in there. So no shims on this puppy. Kind of hear it. You have a good night, Eric. Take care, brother. Be safe. Be fun. All right. Now I got to remember this is the mid motor, so it's going to sit like this. So the tranny plate's going to be on this side. So that's going to go in there. I'm going to run. Let me put this one on this side here and see how that is on my top shaft. Oh, not at all. Not liking little shims on that one. This puppy is a snuggie. One little nice thing about this glass table is I can at least hear when something hits it metal. Okay. Oh yeah, she's got a bit of slop in there. So put one back into here. Just leave one on. Oh yeah, there's still a bit there, so we'll go back to the other one now. Back on this side. Cat hair out. Don't need cat hair in the mix. Well, that one on this side. We'll try that again. What I did the first time, but didn't have something right. Okay, so got two of the bigger shims in there. You see she's still got almost a 32nd, at least a 64th to play. So I'm going to try one more of these slightly larger shims and see where we're at. Let's get that one. And I'll run this one on there the other way, so the smooth side's towards the other bearing. Let's see what we got with that one. So got the idler gear, didn't need any shims. I mean, the idler gear was snug with no shims at all. Okay, now it's with another two medium or two thick ones and one small. And it's got, I don't know if you can see that, just a little bit. It's probably good, but I'm anal-retentive. So we're going to do one more thin, the thinnest one I've got in here. I think it's going to be that one. Now I see Drag Race Concepts actually sells .01 shims and .1 shims and .2 shims, and so they actually sell a fair number of shims themselves. Okay, we put you on like that. on that way. That might be too much. We'll find out. One on that way. No shims on the idler. Slip her together. Double check. There we go. She went together. Man, there is so little. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, focus in or not. We'll try. There is such a little. I mean, it's got a little back and forth, but you almost can't feel it. I mean, there's not much there, but there's so little. That is a nice shim. Okay. Pop this one back apart one more time. Hot Racing Diff. Same thing. We'll throw a couple shims. One on each side to start. And I think that's what I needed before on the stock unit. It was one shim on each side thin. Of course, I was using these Calandra Racing shims. One thin shim on each side, and any more was almost too much. So let's see what we get. Okay, still pretty sloppy in there. Still got a fair amount of movement. So we'll add, two fell off. Add one of these thicker ones. Yeah, we'll take one of these thick ones. And we'll put that on there and see how it is. I still got one laying around here somewhere, I know. One of these little shims. Okay. That may be a little too much. Yep, just a little bit. Can tell because now there's no movement. I'm not squeezing super tight, and it's only rolling a little bit. So too much shim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back that off. Pop my tranny cases apart. That shim right. Now I've got the two here, thicken up thin. So I'm going to remove. I got two on there. Might be two on there already. Kind of looks like it. There is another one on there. Did I stick them all on one side? I must have inadvertently not even realized it. So let me put the thick one, dang it, on the inside. Okay. I'll try one thick and one thin. Go there, you go there with no shim. And one thickie there. I'm gonna take a look at this. I don't know if I want the thick one on that side or the other side. I want to kind of look at my gear mesh a little bit. I'm gonna put the thick one on this side. Oh, that's where I've got it. Okay. So we'll put that in there. Slip her back together. Missing some a shim there somewhere. Take a look. Shim didn't fall off. They sure are small. That's where that other one must have come off of, is the top. Pop this back apart gently. Put this one back on the top shaft as well. The top shaft fell. Lost what I had on there. I think I had two on there. Something doesn't feel right. I thought I had. This spot in there is the other one, the other thick one. And replace that thin one with the thick one, because that's what I should have had. That's right. There we go. You can't see it, but there is just a little tiny bit. So hold this of play now in the diff. See it popping up just a little bit there. Come on, give me a focus. And a little better. Come on. Damn camera. Stop trying to focus on what's back there. Just a little bump there. Just a little bit. And get it here. Just a little bit there. I'm going to squeeze this really hard before I put it together, and we'll give her a quick spin test, as you can tell when I was spinning it up before. It still seems like it's a little tight. Yeah, a little too tight when she's pushed in the middle. So let me try to give her a good pinch out here on the ends. Ooh, not on the shaft, though, dummy. There we go. That's why I like these trannies. So let's get her put together. Blue Loctite, just a drip. I mean, just a drip. Let's put it on these three. Where'd that one go? Wow, crazy. Slipped right in the hole. Just don't need much. You don't want much. Just enough to keep her from vibrating loose. Now, one way when you got these apart, you can always tell which way your motor plate goes back on, is the motor plate goes on the side with the chamfer in it. And like I say, this is a mid motor, so it's going to set like so. And if it was a rear motor, it'd be setting obviously, well, yeah, if it's setting as a rear motor, so if this is the back of the car, the motor plate would be coming out here. The motor would go in like this, and when it's mid motor, the motor plate comes out the other side, so the motor comes in off the other side. Just screw in, that one goes there in the back. Hey Gene, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Woo! As I do too often. A little bit of nerve damage in the hands is always fun to play with. A little dab on there to make sure it's okay. And one more for the case halves. A little much on there, maybe. Yeah. Inset one. It's like an 8mm M3x8, and the other ones are like 6. Okay, I'm just going to give these a little love touch. Just make sure they're nice and snug. Nothing's going to come off. Okay. Reapply our pieces here. I'm going to hesitant about this one because trying to get those off sometimes might be a bear. So I'm going to be real light with the thread lock on this. Oh yeah, I dig this shit. The assembly and the mechanical side of it, you know, keeps the brain juices flowing. I do enjoy it, especially when things, you know, come together and work well. That's always a good thing. Just a little bit on it. There's still enough on that. Not much. We don't need much. Just a little. Just a smidge. Oh, you know what? I can't do this. Dirt. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm trying to go together. I've got it all shimmed up. I forgot to do the first step. Ooh, yeah, this is the fun part, all right. Back and tracking. Darn it. One important piece I have to do here before I can put these things together and leave them. Oop. That down. I think I will close this before I knock it off and send my shims flying somewhere like I probably would do. I'm going to put those up there. I shouldn't need those ones for this. I forgot to put the toe plates on. It comes with 0 degree, and part of the reason I was waiting is I needed the 1.5 degrees. They don't make a 3 degree that I'm aware of yet, although I'm hoping that they will for the rear toe mount, for your rear arm mounts, you know, toe plate. Like the Pro or the RPM, they come out, they're, you know, replaceable here or swappable, and you've got 2 options: the 0, which comes with, and then the 1.5 degrees. Come on, puppy. And what I gotta do here is actually gonna play with this a little bit because I'm not sure. Gotta take a little look here. Right now I've got about 3 degrees toe in. I wanted to get that as low as possible. They come labeled right and left, so that should be the right. And this should be the left, which is what this is, the left half of the case. Because they're not labeled on the stock unit. Let's take a peek here. Trying to figure out, try to help determine which side. Because on the RPM, when I used the 3 degree toe plates, I had to actually switch from right to left, left to right to get my rear arm set at 0 degree. Now with the 1.5, I don't think I'll be able to get to 0, but so that's the 0 degree toe arm. Hard to say what's what. Pain, but I think I'm just gonna have to kind of slide it together and look. But I guess I am kind of glad I got to do this because that screw was a little loose. I don't have a loose rear arm per se. So that's RPM, that's the left, and I'll go like that. These up here, this over here, because I don't need that anymore out of bearings, out of ceramics anyways, till the next order comes in. Justin over at Backyard. And let's see. I've got to actually run these arms kind of in reverse. Because on this mid motor, everything's flopped around. Usually these arms are on the other side. So if that's the case, and they're calling this side left on RPM, and the passenger side right. Okay, yeah, that should be correct. Left, right, yep. Looking at it from as if you're in the vehicle driving. So I think that's going to be there. So I guess there's really only one way to do this. Take that one apart. Stick this one in. We got little nubs on here that fit into the side of the case, kind of help hold it steady. And I'm just going to put this together for now. I'll wait about Loctiting it a little later. So I got to make sure which arm's going on which side, or I should say which toe plate, because they are a little different, obviously. They got a little angle to them with 1.5 degrees. Just a little snug, so they say snug while I'm doing my fitting. Okay, I think I can get these. A little loose too. So yeah, make sure you check all your screws. You know, none of these have Loctite, but the screws are tight when you put it together, or you get it out of the box. These screws are usually snug. They feel like they got Loctite, but they don't. So when you do put your Dry Erase Concepts fan together, ensure you go through and Loctite it all. And I'm going to mark, well, these are 0 degrees, so I guess it doesn't matter. They should be the same either side. But for shits and giggles, I will set them as left and right because at 0 degrees, it won't matter. Okay. Don't know if it's just dash 1.5 degrees or if that's supposed to be a negative 1.5 degree. We'll find out. Actually, if that's correct, then I got these on the wrong side, which may be okay because I'm trying to get rid of the toe. Let's stick just 2 of these in for the moment, just to hold it together. Okay, let's see what we end up with here. Let's see what kind of CF. Okay, no, I got them right, left and right there. I think that's going to be the right way. I think that's going to be the right way. No. Looks like fat on this tranny. That's that one. Where's the other one? That one's that. Let me see how we look here with the hinge pins installed. Am I tight in there? Might have to pass a little. Thanks, Gene. You have a good one. Hopefully I caught you before you will split. Let me put a little mousse spray on here. See if we can slide it in and out of this thing a little easier. Ooh, that's a snuggie. Yeah, that goes in real snug. Let's see if I can work it in now a little bit. Oh yeah, she's going, she's tight. Probably gonna have to spend just a little time trying to clean up the inside just to get a little bit of clearance. I got these STRC hinge pins and they are just a smidge larger, the right one in, than the stackers. That ain't so bad. Now I actually got something in there I can turn it with. So it is a snuggy little fit. So what I gotta do is, like I say, put this puppy together and get the arms on and check that toe. I'll have to use these stock bearings a little bit just to set the rear end up a smidge so I can, make sure everything's held right. Okay. Go ahead and work that in. Just to hold them. Ain't too bad once it's in. Hey, did anybody do swinging in? I see a few people popping around. God, that one's a little small for it too. Where's my bigger wrench for this puppy? That one's almost too big now. That's all right. That'll get me in there. You want to find the right wrench for it though. It's not it. How's this one looking? Might be closer. It's a sloppy. That one's really sloppy. This one's probably too big. Well, I might end up having to use the one in the wrench just to get it in and out. Let's see how we go. Okay, that goes like that. We drop some bearings in here real quick. Slide that back through. Slip our piece now. I still had it out here. I might have moved it back over here. Is that the one I had? Don't think so, maybe. I'll put this on and get her a little snug. Try to see how this thing's gonna line up. That's gonna be. It looks like it's too much. Those things even look like they're way towed out now. So this was one way good to try. Let's see, I should have a pencil. Yeah, put a little end on it. Put a little line on it. And then get me another straight edge. And line this up. Yeah, I kind of cobble it together. Basically, I'm trying to check my toe in, so I'm just making sure my stuff here is flat and lined up. So that actually kicks it 1.5 degrees that way, which, yeah, that should be good. That should be the right way. Because I was getting toe in, I want to get rid of it. But I have to guess. So it's right, left. Okay, I got everything on the right side. Because this is the left, that's the right. Actually, that's wrong. This is the left. This is the right. So they are flipped 180 degrees right now. Keep my head straight. So, what do I get? What does it look like when I flip these arms around 180 degrees? Let's take a look. I definitely want to add more to it. That's the wrong one too. Is it this big bad one? I had one of these in here, was it? And what it is, these must be a standard size. A standard size piece. That one's too big to go in there. Nope, wrong one. Trying to do that. In the wrong damn hole. Story of my life. That one's too big. That one's too small. Okay. Let me grab my other wrench here. Where is the one? That's not it. So this is always the fun stuff. A little trial and fit and trial. It's gotta fit better. Thought I had one out here that locks right in. Wrong sizers. It's too big. That's that one. Just a little too big. Alright. Not stripped out, hardly even used them. Not put anything in there. Let's see what these are. Brand new packs. See if these maybe fit a little better. Got a ball end in it. Let's see. It's still pretty damn sloppy. That one's too big for it. Too small, yeah. Way too small. All right. Let me take a look for my larger ones in there. Well, let's see, and we'll just do a little hard push. Say they do go in there just a little snug in this thing. You have to risk it with the big boys. So if everybody else is having a good night anyways. Okay, now I just swap this around. The way it would go was normally on that mid motor setup. This one in here. Now I'm actually flopping the left to the arm to the right side just to see how my toe lines up here. Actually, I should just do this one. This is the one I got the bearing in. All the way in, just got it locked in. Now let's realign. Oh yeah, no, I don't need it. I just gotta line those up. Hit the back of the arm, make sure they're all seated well. Now, yeah, let's slide it down. It's gonna think without it. Let's do this one arm here, or one hinge pin. I'll probably spend a little time polishing them down, because that's real snug. Just pin it in a little bit. Lube on it. Moo lube. Little bit of moo lube. Yeah. There we go. That's in there now, at least for the moment. Yeah, that's giving me more toe in. Okay, so that's the way they go. Now, there, let's go back here. You there, you can go back up in your spot. You can probably stay here for a moment. Now, pop it back apart real quick. Why I got it together? Because I'm not quite totally together. I gotta lock tight these plates into place. You don't want them coming loose on you, because then you gotta pull the tranny, take it apart, and then lock tight your screws. Okay, so let me take a peek. Double check here. Actually, those ain't tight right now. They're just a little snuggy. I'm going to do one at a time. Add just a little Loctite. Again, just a dab because you got to heat these things up. You don't want to have too much Loctite like that. Don't need too much. It's one of the biggest problems that I used to have, and I think other people have, is they put a little too much Loctite on going in. And then it's a real bitch to get off coming out. So yeah, with these drag race concepts, you put the right on the right and the left on the left. When it comes to these 1.5 degree toe plates, and that sets you up. A little drip on these ones, just a dibble. And on the end, almost too much. Put this one in here. It's just a small snug. You want them snug tight, but not overly tight. Because with that Loctite, you want to be able to get them off. That off and go ahead and clean this out for the moment. Get that one done. Set this one on. Okay. Snuggie. Sure these are all good, but not overly tight. Don't know if you guys see that. I'm bumping the thing. It's just spinning pretty darn good. Just working these back and forth, make sure I don't have them too tight. Spreading that stuff around a little bit. Now, if you have to, you can take your soldering iron, stick a fine point soldering tip, or a small point, small flat end soldering tip on your bolt. Heat your bolt up. That'll melt the Loctite. If you have Loctite in screws, I always recommend at least a lighter for a couple seconds. Flip it over and burn it with a lighter. You get a little soot on it or wash off, because that'll melt that Loctite, and you want to be able to pull these screws out without stripping them. So it's important that you don't over tighten them. You want to just basically snug, and that's it. Okay, now test. She's built. Back to where it was. I'll even put on the. Oh, that's not the nut. I ain't got a nut for it. I don't think I had a nut for it. Okay, so here we go. This is why, after I built my first one, and I'm gonna go back through the second one I built, but this is why I love these transmissions. Now, you guys seen me spinning it before I started. It got a good couple revolutions with the eco bearings in there, but these things, now I hadn't put any lube on anything yet either. I got this mousse slick I'll spray on the gears, and actually go like this. Can almost hear it get a little smoother. I'm just barely giving it a twist with or flick with my fingers. You go ahead and set it right side up. Try to get a good spin. That's just impressive. I can sit here for like a finger spinner, fidget spinner. It's the RC version of a fidget spinner right there, man. That's smooth. That's gonna be a low resistance, fast moving tranny. So I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna call that pretty decent to go. I'm gonna take these two zeros. You can tell they're zeros. They have nothing printed on either side. Where the 1.5, you can see got the 1.5 on the top side, and it is left to left, right to right as you're looking at the tranny, as it should be installed in the vehicle. And you usually figure that out if you're in the vehicle driving. If this is a real car, your right side is the driver's side, your passenger side is the left side, and that would be right and left orientation on all your parts on your RC cars. So there's one tranny with zeros, 2 more to do. put that up there for now, so they'll all go in one box. I'll go ahead and finish putting this back together. I'll try to throw things away first. Go ahead. These on. These things already had some Loctite in them, so they're not too bad. It'll work. Now they do, with the MIPs, you do get a shim that you can slip in between your tranny bearing and your drive axle. I haven't used them just because I like to leave it a little free open in there. Generally shouldn't be a problem. Okay, shocks go to the back. Phase them. Sure they're going together properly. Yep. Okay, everything's good there. Okay, now that I've got it to this point, and I got this back off. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, Eric wanted to wait, and I meant to do that. So let me pop this puppy back apart. Get my things out here, and I'll grab a weight off it so Eric can see what the weight was. He asked, and I said I'd do it. Got to grab it. Tranny loose. I'm going to pop these off real quick. I want to take a weight. Take a weight measurement. Okay. Because I missed it one too. Of course, this is without the slipper setup on it, so you have to add that little bit of weight. So, the other unit, the stock, well, can't say the other unit. I started out with the RPM Traxxas tranny case with some pieces in it, and then moved over to the Pro line. Took that out of the tarp when I got the first DRC tranny and put that in there, and we built the second, rear motor DRC tranny for this low CG slash. And I said, man, I gotta get another third. I ain't even gonna bother with the Pro line. Have to do it. So let's see, we were at 172.6 with the stock bearings, in diff case and minimal shims with the ceramic bearings and the 1.5 degree plates. They shouldn't be any different. We're at 170.3, so almost 2 grams. Yeah, 2.5 grams, 2.3 grams lighter. So a little bit lighter with the ceramic bearings and a couple extra shims that I needed to put on here. So that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, where'd you go? What did I do? Lose my head if it wasn't attached. So actually, before I go that far, then I got it this far. And then I'll have to think about that thing, whatever I do with it. I've got these nuts here I want to put in place. Got a few of them, and they're steel, so I'm gonna replace those and lose a little bit of extra weight by going to aluminum nuts. I'm gonna replace all these steel nuts with red aluminum nuts and cut some weight that way. Hold on there, baby, don't be going anywhere. And actually, I won't need those little washers I got on there either. These are a red aluminum nylon with a nylon insert and a flange on them, kind of like the green ones and blue ones I dig. So a little flange here, so you don't need any washers. These should really lose a little bit of weight, obviously. With the washer's flange part on it, be a nice little washer kind of set up. Help lose a little bit of dead weight. Just like that. Oh, come on. Set up there a little better. Yeah, I shouldn't need nuts and washers on some of this stuff like here, but I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Close. Close, not quite the same red, but close. This atomic red's got a little bit more of a burgundy color to it. But these nuts, these are almost just a nice fire engine red almost. It's a little darker than bright red. Now I've got more, like I said, more ceramic bearings coming in that I will actually put back into the rear carriers here. I only had 2 additional at the moment, and you need 6 for inside the tranny. I wanted to get it built, get the toe plates on, get everything set in place. So I went ahead and stilled the couple out of the toe plate. Stilled a few out of that toe plate, stilled a few out of the rear carriers, and put them in the transmission. And then when I get my other ones from Justin, I'll slide those ones in here real quick. Okay. On one side. These ones swapped around. I better write that number down before I forget it too. 170.3. Got that one in there. Good and tight. I did do that. No, I did that earlier, but got the washer on the wrong side of this one. Washer on the head side of the bulb, yeah, on the other side of the link. What you doing, kitty kitty? Okay. Throwing them all over the place. These puppies snugged up. Find my other Allen wrench probably on the floor with those two nuts I just dropped. Let's see what one more around here. Now, make sure my phasing is right. One of those washers I ain't using. Using it more anyways. There. So it was 10 aluminum nuts and maybe 6 washers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because I took one and used it. Okay. Alrighty. I gotta put the motor rotor in the motor before I can put it in. So now that it's built, let me kind of set these arms, and I gotta go through the shocks, put limiters in inside and out yet. So that's something else I gotta do. So now we got it built. These arms kind of level. Oh, that's right. We don't have bearings in that side, and I don't have ceramics in this side, so I won't be able to do the full show until I do that. But I do want to take these out of here and put these ceramics, or get ready for ceramics when they come in. Yeah, I can leave that one in there now. This side doesn't have any bearings in it. So once I got it, you know, that's slopping a little bit. But this thing is about ready. So let me see what I've got here. Take this wheel nut back on. And we'll set her aside for a sec. Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. There's 3 more screws. So replace 10. So let me take these 3 out of here. 8, 9. Okay, I can find my other couple screws. So I do want to take a light measure and see how much I saved there. It's not screws, a couple more nuts. There should be a couple around here laying somewhere handy. Knock them off. Got more around here. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 2 in here I can grab just to double check. Ten nuts, 6 washers. I'll drop these back in there. They don't need to be out anymore. Okay. 10 nuts. And the 6 washers. That is 5.2 grams. And 10 aluminum nylon washers. It's 2.5 grams. So half the weight, basically. When you go from the steel nuts to the aluminum nuts, you're dropping half of your weight of whatever your steel nuts are, basically. So 2.6 and those are 5.2. So yeah, by going to aluminum nuts, you'll lose half of that dead weight from your steel nuts, basically. Add a washer or 2. Put those in there. These can go, yeah, these can go in this bag for now. Like those and go there. Actually, I'll go into that thing. And I'll put these and these. And with this, it's the stuff for the RedShift build. Yeah, I'm gonna kill this video here. It's been a couple hours, excuse me. And it's 11:30, 12:30, 12:23 right now. And I've been up since like 8:30, 9. So I'm gonna try to get some sleep and I'll hammer on this tomorrow. But there we go. DRC Mid Motor Tranny, Backyard RC Ceramics. This is a 97 tranny, all shimmed out. 90% tranny. It's all shimmed out, ready to go. I just gotta get the Backyard RC Ceramics for my that I got coming to put in the rear stuff. Everything else has them already, and then she'll be good. And just to give it a look, Chuckworks unit, and I've got a Drag Race Concepts 4mm riser coming. I think I can slide in there and drop this thing just a little bit more, but yeah, they don't offer. I wish they did have these 2 holes here. I realize they probably Probably not needed. Probably don't need it at all. Well, that might be a trick. Now I'm thinking about it. I might not be able to use the 4mm riser. So that's going to put too much distance underneath it, I think. No, I won't need that one of the 4mm risers I got coming. So about one for this and one for the. You attacking my leg, fat kitty. Getting attacked back here. So, yeah. That'll be an interesting deal. I was hoping I'd be able to put that 4mm riser in there. But not gonna happen. But that's alright. That's how she's gonna set up in there. You kind of see what she'll look like again. I've got other videos of me putting it together before. So won't be much different this time. Just a nicer tranny. Alright folks. Thanks a lot for you guys that hung out, came out, swung around, Gene and Eric and anybody else that didn't say anything in the chat and just kind of snuck in, watched for a bit and left because I'm an asshole and it's boring. Appreciate you hanging out. Hit that like button, that share, and that subscribe. Help me grow this channel up a little bit and we'll see what goes from there. But yeah, we're 2 hours in. Drag Race Concepts Tranny is pretty much ready to go. A few more things, then I'm gonna get on it. So again, thanks a lot for hanging out. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna smoke this celebration log here and go to Nar for the evening. Thanks.